the leadership sphere in quotes. You can be a leader in tech, in fashion, in education, in anything. And I am so excited about that because you don't need anyone to give you a position before you assume your responsibility as a leader. So one of my questions, I think, for now, is that what can you say to that leader that is feeling like, okay, I've heard all of these things you've said, Mr. Stephen, but I feel like I'm not an expert. Like, there are some people online you see, and when they are dishing out value, it's deep. They go deep, and you are just thinking, okay, what do I know? Probably I'm a student, or I'm just an entrepreneur who is trying to like make sales and just even get by. What do you say to that person that is still holding back because she or he doesn't see himself or herself as, okay, see, I have someone, a witness, somebody that feels that way too, that's not feeling like an expert, and maybe doesn't even have that, you mentioned something about clarity. What do you want to be visible at? And especially for a young person, I think I'm mixing it already. But first, that person that is feeling like I'm not an expert, and then that other person that is feeling like, okay, I'm young, how do I position myself? Because I don't have the experience. So do I position myself as someone that is high up there, like a thought leader, or like what's the best positioning strategy for a young person? And then what can you advise to that young person that's thinking that, okay, I'm not an expert. How do I go about starting my digital visibility journey? Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for that question, Lauren K. And I'm sure that there are a lot of people that maybe at that particular point too right now. So I'll get to talk about that now. Now, the first thing is, let me start from the point of clarity. So there are a lot of people that at this moment, if you're sincere, you're not even sure of what you want to be a leader in. You're at that point where you're just trying out things. You're just still testing this and testing that, and you're not sure what you want to be a leader in, right? If you're at that point, there's always something you're testing part time. Whatever it is you're testing at this particular time, you have to, I think one of the things that affects a lot of us, myself included at a point, is the idea of shame, the idea of what will people say. Oh, this 3 months ago, she was doing affiliate marketing. Today she's talking about web design and this and that. So you're so much thinking about what they will say that you're not even able to move fast. One of the luxuries, and I talk about this to people that are my mentees, I tell them, see, one of the luxuries you have right now that you're not yet known that much is that you can move fast. Like, if I need to change from my current emphasis to another emphasis, it's a little bit, it's going to take it's more weightier for me because I'm already known to an extent for something. But the fact that you're not yet known for something gives you that ability to move around. So the fact that you have 4, 5, 10 people that know you for one thing doesn't mean that you shouldn't move. This is the best time for you to be able to try things out. This is the best time for you to be able to try things out. So if you're not yet clear, try things out. There's someone that made a description about life, that life is like a buffet. For those of you that have been to a buffet before, there are people that like food that are already getting hungry, just me talking about this, but it's fine. So if you've been to a buffet before, there are several kinds of food. There's yam, there's rice, there's beans, they just put them in trays on a long table. Okay? There are a lot of you that have said, my best food is rice. Well, it's not true. It's just that rice is the only sweet food you take. If you go and say some other food, you find out that may not really be your best food. And that's what's happening with some of when it comes to career. Because you've not tried sufficiently, you don't even know what your best food is. So life is like a buffet. Try out things. So try the rice, try the yam, try the fried yam and the boiled yam. See the one that is better. Some of you are already very excited with this example. Once it's food, there's energy, but it's fine. But try things out. But whatever you're trying right now, I always ask people this question: what are you trying to be the best at right now? Like, at every point in time, there must be something. There should never be a period in your life where there's nothing you're trying to be a leader in. No. So what are you trying to be the best at right now? If there's none, choose something at least. Choose something. Do you want to be the best at? Sometimes I like it to, you can, if you're not sure how to choose, you can try it around a skill, preferably a monetizable skill, because sincerely, sometimes it can be a bit difficult if there's no financial rewards over a long period of time. Hope deferred makes the heart grow weary. All right. So you can, there's just as far as hope can take you. At the point in time, if there's no money coming in, that hope will become very frustrating. So if possible, try to build your leadership around a skill that is monetizable. And by monetizable, I mean either a skill that can get you a job or a skill that can give you some form of money, either by freelancing, either by creating digital products, a skill that is monetizable. For me, a lot of people don't know right now, but the first skill that actually gave me money was website design. Using WordPress. That was how I started making money. I remember my first website design job of 15,000 naira. Oh my God. I was so happy. 15K. And out of that 15K, 8,000 naira was used for buying of the domain and the hosting. For those of you that are familiar with web design, you have to buy the domain name, you have to buy the hosting. 8,000 naira was used for that. So that means my money was just 7K. And I was so excited. Then the next one was, I think, 35K. Then I got one of 65K, an e-commerce site. E-commerce is a very difficult site to build. But when we closed that deal at 65, I was in the office that day. People saw me so, like, I was just smiling to everybody and everything, right? And then a point came when I couldn't take a job less than 100K. And here we are now. I'm just saying that there's a process to these things, but it's best to use a monetizable skill. Now, at the point in time, I had to transition from website design to digital marketing. Can you see that I had to transition? So from digital marketing, I can actually transition to something else. Do not be, if I want to stay in digital marketing, I can, but let it be that it's because I want to, not because I'm feeling like I can't move. You can move, you can move. Those people that you think care, they don't care as much as they have their own problems. You're always thinking that people are looking at you. They have their problems. Move if you need to. Okay, that's the clarity part. Then the other part was, there's other part of the question you asked, I think around, okay, you've talked about people that don't know what to do, which is what I just talked about. There's something else. Who remembers the other parts? There's a part of that question.
I think how to position as a new.
Yes, how to position when you're just starting up. So the first thing I would say, I'll say two things here. The first one is that is a part of scriptures. And by the way, apologies again. I mix a lot of references to scriptures because like it's one of my most important leadership books. So it's a general gathering, but just get some of these points, right? So someone should look for it for me and put it in the chat box. The part of scriptures where Paul was talking to Timothy. So let me explain the story so that everybody can relate. So Paul was a mentor to Timothy. Paul was a mentor to Timothy. And Paul was going to write a letter to Timothy. And Paul said something. He said that do not look down, or rather, let no one despise your youth. That was how it was saying. That's how it was said, rather. But a way of me interpreting it will be, do not look down, or do not let anybody look down on you because you're young. But someone should get the exact verse and put it there for me in the chat box. So Paul was writing to Timothy, his mentee, his young mentee, and he said, let no man despise your youth. By no man, and when my mentor told me this, I stood up in my mind. My mentor said, when people hear these scriptures, they hear no man and they start thinking of other people. No man means no man. No man means no man, including yourself, because you're a man. There's a tendency that you can block every other man from despising your youth, but you, that you're also a man, will be the person that is despising your youth. You're despising your youth by yourself. Let no man despise your youth. There's a translation that says, let nobody look down on you because you're young. If you put that on Google, you see a translation like that. Let nobody look down on you because you're young. That's one of the translations. Now, why am I starting with this? Because I said in my teaching that you can hardly, thank you, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, check for that translation that says, let nobody look down on you because you're young. I think there's a translation like that. Check for that for me. So you can hardly, remember what I said during the training, Olara, okay? You can hardly behave consistently in a way that is different from who you believe yourself to be or who you see yourself to be. The longer you see yourself as, oh, I am young, oh, I am just coming up, oh, I am this, that is how you'll be behaving. Mentally accept the facts. Mentally, it starts in the mind. How do you do it mentally? Think of yourself on the stage. Think of yourself as an authority. Think of yourself as someone that is great. See yourself in that light, then show up in that light. Now, this is a mental advice. Now, I'll give you a practical advice for this. The reason why I'm starting with the mental advice is because if I don't talk about this mental advice, you won't be able to do the practical advice. The practical advice first needs you to think of yourself, not as a small person, not as an upcoming person. Think of yourself as an authority. That's the only way you can do what makes you an authority. You cannot behave consistently in a way that is different from who you are. Okay, I can see Emmanuel has shared that on the chat box. Do not let anyone look down on you because you are young. But do what? But set an example. We can just stop there because it's a mixed faith. So do not let anyone look down on you because you're young, but set an example. That means young people can set examples. True of us. Young people can set an example. Do not buy into that school of thought that says for you to become an example, you have to be old. No. Young people can set an example. The question is, what do you want to be an example in? Now, let me now go practical. Hope you're following. Are you following this class? Let me go practical. Now, what are the things you can share when you're young and you're just coming up? The first kind of things you can share, and this is a framework I developed for myself, right? And I'm sharing it now with you. It's a personal framework. The first category of things you can share is who you are. You can share content about who you are. Who you are is your beliefs. Who you are is, things that concern your beliefs, your mindsets, like share things around the way you think, about your thinking, who you are. Because a man is really, a man consists of his thoughts. Thoughts make a man. That's the best way to explain this. So you can share who you are, your thinking, your mindset, the things you believe. That's the first category of things you can share as a young person. The second category of things you can share, someone should write that who you are. Thank you, Forever Brown. The second category of things you can share as a young person is what you can do. What you can do. Create content around what you can do. Create content around what you can do. That's the second kind of thing you can share. The third kind of thing you can share as a young person is what you are doing. Let me take that again. Who you are, what you can do, because there are some things you can do, but you're not doing. All right? So what you can do, I can run ads. You can create a content around ads. There are 44 different ways I can say I can run ads. 44, even more. Just that I can run ads, there are a number of ways to say it. That's what you can do. Then next one is what you are doing. Do you know why these three things are things you can share even when you're young? Because these three things are never supposed to be stagnant. If you want to know that your life is depreciating, check these three things. If who you are, or if who you were in 2020, your mindset, your beliefs, your thinking pattern in 2020 is the same with who you are right now in 2022, there's something wrong. There should be upgrades. So these things, I'm trying to show you how to never run out of content. Do you want to learn how to never run out of content? This is how to never run out of content. Who you are is supposed to always be improving. That's one. Secondly, what you can do is also supposed to always be improving. True of course. So what you could do last year should not be the same exact things. Maybe it may be the same thing, but maybe at a higher level. Oh, I still run ads, but now at a higher level. I can now do this. I can now do that. What you can do is supposed to be changing every single time. What you are doing is also supposed to be changing. So while you're young, follow this framework. Share who you are, share what you can do, share what you're doing. If you share this month, by next month, share them again. It's supposed to change. If it's not changing, that means you're not growing yourself. Oh, I am going back to school after a squad of strike. Is that not content? Is that not what you're doing? That's content. This is how I'm preparing for school. This is how I'm preparing to balance my time. This is how I balance my time. That's your mindset. That's your belief. Oh, I am reading a book called Think and Grow Rich. That's what you're doing. These are 5 lessons from the book Think and Grow Rich. I'm just talking about this generally. You have to put this in terms of what you want to be a leader in. Remember the type of value you want to create. But this is an example. This is already another session. Okay, you brought out a second session. I'm ending here. I'm not talking again. Please continue from there. Next question. I'm done.
I'm so sorry. Who would have thought that there's a framework for content as per a young person? Who would have thought? Like, because most young people, what they do is they go online, they see what the experts are doing, and they like try to imitate it, and then they lose their own sense of identity. But like, I feel this session is for me. Thank you so much. Does anyone have a question again? Nobody has dropped any question. Like maybe my question has answered other people's questions based on your answer. Okay. Okay. We also respect your time, so we would end it here. But if you say,
so I think that everybody, if you're on this session right now, if you're still live, you can take a screenshot of this session, and this is also for you to share something to show that you're starting digital visibility. So take a screenshot of this session, share on your Instagram stories, maybe if you want to share on your posts. Talk about the session, share some points, tag me. My name is Fisteven. On Instagram, my name is Fisteven everywhere, really, FIISTEPHEN. So tag me, I'll be reposting some of these things, but let me know how the session works for you. Take a screenshot of this, because it's not easy to, wear an entire turtleneck, come out looking all bright and lovely and just stay with that. So please take screenshots and get to share. Make sure the screenshot is fine, and we'll take it up from there. So you can go ahead and conclude, Lauren. Okay.
Okay, so I was saying that since there are no questions, but like I feel this session was for me, because you've broken some tables and you've erected some, and you've pushed me to growth. So and we respect your time too. But I'm so glad that we're able to juice out that framework for content as for young people. So this is the end already. If there's any other thing, maybe you have something like I wouldn't say last words, but like something, another charge, another charge for us as we go into the new week and as we are approaching 2023, something for our visibility as leaders or something, just
okay, something. Yeah, so I think I always conclude my sessions with this statement, and that's the fact that growth will cost you, but not growing will cost you more. So you can write that down. Growth will cost you, but not growing will cost you more. I'll be sincere with you. If you decide to want to do all the things I just said, it's going to cost you. It will cost you your time. The time you would have used for other things, you'll be using to create content. The time you would have used for other things, you need to learn. Some of you need to learn content creation. You need to learn how to write. You need to get books on writing. Some of you, that's the first thing you need to do right now. So it will cost you some things. It will cost you time. It will cost you energy. It will cost you money. Growth will cost you. It will definitely cost you. Growth will cost you something. But if you decide not to grow, not growing will cost you more. 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, you will find out that the cost of growth has greatly increased. So please decide to grow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So I'll call on Mr. Kingsley to wrap up. Thank you so much for this session.
Thank you very, very much, Laronke. Thank you, Laronke. Thank you very much, sir. I mean, my notes is filled. I'm sorry I can't turn on my video. My notes is filled. I deeply appreciate you for your time. I mean, you've valued yourself for us, and for that we are deeply grateful. We had leaders joining from Ghana, from Russia. Please, we have 3 leaders from Russia. We had them from Uganda. So some of them had to leave because of the time difference. Yeah. So the bulk of us here in Nigeria, and we appreciate you. We appreciate you. I'm here in Ibadan, a lot in Delta, some are in Lagos, so all over Nigeria, they joined in tonight. So thank you very much, sir. And then personally, I've subscribed to your channel. I've subscribed. So I'll do justice to the videos there. Yes, sir. And then we'll do the assignments. You give us 2 assignments to watch that video and then to share what we've learned on Insta stories. We'll do that. Yeah. And we pray that the light that you started shining will keep shining on and on to a perfect day. In Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you very much again, sir.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, have a good night rest. Yes, sir.
You too. Yeah. Thank you. All right.